What would you recommend to someone who's been on carnivore for a few months and has not lost any weight or has gained some weight? I would recommend that you keep doing what you're doing if you've only been on carnivore for a month or two. Keep doing what you're doing. Doesn't matter if you lose or gain weight while you're fat adapting. Once you've become fat adapted, once you have put those carb cravings to bed, once you can not have to turn to my little tactic of stuffing your face full of meat every time you get a craving and eating mass quantities, much more food than you really need. Once you get to that point, you'll find that your natural hunger and satiety signals will guide you to eating the correct amount of food for your body, and your body will normalize. If you're too skinny when you start carnivore, you'll gain weight. If you're too heavy when you start carnivore, you'll lose weight. Now, this is assuming you don't have any other mitigating conditions or are taking any medications whose side effects are weight gain. Because all bets are off if you're artificially putting things in your body or you have something wrong with you. There are people who have severe thyroid issues, who have other issues that are simply not going to lose weight. Most of the time, the reason that new people who start this, most of the time, it's the same answer. Most of the time, your insulin is too high because you've been eating too much sugar. You're either a diabetic, a borderline diabetic. When your insulin is high, your body will not give up fat. I've talked about this many times. When your insulin is high, your subconscious mind gets the signal that you are eating survival food, which means food is scarce, which means we need to keep eating, which means don't trigger any satiety signals. Trigger just the opposite. So they'll gorge and store away as much of this food that we can until the real food comes back. A month or two is not a long time after a lifetime of living in that paradigm where your fat cells are basically miserly, always assuming there's a famine. And you're never getting that satiety signal. So just keep at it for a while. If you're managing to stay on carnivore and eat zero carbs, and you don't binge and you don't cheat, because when you binge or you cheat or have a cheat meal or a cheat day, all bets are off. You're back to square one anyway. You've just reinforced that. You've just dosed yourself with insulin, and you have basically said to your cells, it's a famine. Stick to it. Stick to it. I don't know who Peter is asking that question for, but whoever is that applies to, you have to stick to it or all bets are off, at least for a few months.